Om Namah Shivaya, Asanest Fire, here on the Way of Dharma. Today we'll be discussing a very, very powerful and uplifting topic, that of detachment. Okay. If you are new, please make sure that you subscribe, like, and share the content we are about to dive into. Asanest Fire from Way of Dharma. So the topic of today is detachment meditation and how we can use it to detach and make sure that we go through life's hardships without attaching to anything really. In the physical plane, okay. As you may know, there's different levels of consciousness for each and every individual. You understand? So it is said that attachment isn't even found in animals of a lower consciousness. The human being has an attachment which passes that of the lower vibration or lower consciousness animals. Meaning humans have a tendency to be attached to certain things even if it's not good for their benefit. Attachment to materials, attachment to people, attachment to a certain lifestyle, attachment to things, basically. So human beings have an attachment to titles, attachment to whatever that you may be attached to. Detachment meditation serves to detach you from the things or the ties that bind you. It is similar to chord in the way that it frees you from the suffering that you are holding on to. A human being is the only one that would attach to its species well beyond its maturity stage. An animal gives birth to another animal. After a certain period of time, it lets that animal go out into the wild to fend for its own. But the human being can fend for their young well into their maturity, well into their 30s, well into their 50s, basically. What is this form of low attachment that human beings do have? This comes from the illusion of self. You have an illusion that you are this body, that you are this mind, that you are these thought processes, that you are in actuality living in this material world. You will die, your body will die, it will cease to work, it will deteriorate after a certain period of time. And you will still be alive. You can even picture your body lying there lifeless. You can even conceive of a time whereby your body wasn't existing at the time, but you can still conceive of yourself being alive well beyond that time, basically. You can even imagine and conceptualize the fact that there were bodies that you have inhabited even before this particular body that you are inhabiting right now. So why attach to the identity of this body? Why attach to the belongings that were attributed to this body? Why attach to the certain moral standards and certain reputations and titles given to this body? This is an illusion, you understand? Having an idea that this body, this name, this title is actually your life, is actually the end all be all, makes you attach to useless things, basically. So what is this meditation comprised of, basically? This meditation is comprised of detachment techniques that help you to detach from that illusion of self. First of all, what do you do to detach? You picture your body lying lifeless. Can you conceive of the part whereby you are looking down at your body? Can you conceive of the part whereby when your body is having its last breaths, you are looking down on it and actually perceiving yourself leaving the body? Can you perceive of a time whereby you didn't exist as this body? Can you perceive of a time long after death of this body where you will exist? Definitely. Do you perceive of times whereby this body was lying in sleep and you were fully awake, fully conscious of what was happening? Maybe in the dream, maybe even half asleep, maybe in sleep paralysis. Your body was lying lifeless, dead basically. You die every night because your body dies every night. It rests every night, and then your spirit leaves to a certain voyage, basically. So, can you conceive of those times whereby you were not in your body, but still you were alive? What is this illusion of self? Why are we thinking this way? Why are we attached to this identity, attached to this type of clothing, attached to a certain lifestyle? It's because these things, as we grow up, we face certain challenges in our lives, and we develop a coping mechanism. So this coping mechanism and this false self has a tendency to latch onto things to try and identify us with. The false self has a tendency to attach itself to things, external things, to try and validate itself, to try and live. Because to a person who doesn't know about occultism, who doesn't know about detachment, you take away certain material things in their life, they begin to think it's the end all. They begin to think that they are dead. This attachment is behind all suicidal behavior. This attachment is behind all regret, all depression. Simply detaching and looking at yourself from another perspective, knowing that you are not this body, you are not your material belongings, you are not right now in this situation. Try to see yourself as soul and being responsible of all these things directly, meaning try to see yourself and conceptualize yourself as soul, going through all these hardships, going through these daily activities. Try to see it directly, and you will see that as soul, you haven't even experienced anything, basically. You are just there controlling your body, instructing it to behave a certain way, to do certain tasks, basically. I often wonder why we are able to endure hard times even when we feel like it's not plausible or possible. Why? The answer that I got yesterday in my meditation is this: the inspiration doesn't come from external things, it comes from a higher force that controls and guides our bodies daily. Even though we can't see this body, even though some of us can't actually conceptualize of this body being there, we are being guided by a divine force that is always there to guide us, always there to inspire us. Picture this: you are driving a car, you are the controller of the car. Even better, picture yourself driving a remote control car, overlooking that remote control car. The battery or the cells die, you replace it. The car bumps into a wall, you will fix it and replace it. You won't feel any attachment to it because you know it's something that you can get yourself out of. Because in reality, what are you doing? You are experiencing life through that remote control car. You are not actually the car. You are controlling something and orchestrating something about that car from afar. It is also the case with our bodies. This is why we are inspired to live. This is why we have the will to live, even and endure even the hardest of times. The minute you forget your true self, the illusion takes over. The external world takes over. The body can be influenced either internally by soul or externally by external things. The minute you forget your true self, external things start to influence you or control you. The minute you receive sensory input, the minute you focus on external things, they take control of you and you allow the false self to dictate and control your body. If you are craving something and you don't take care of that craving, if you don't stay aware of that craving, you are leaving an external thing, an organ, to actually make you do something that you don't want to do. But you will, of course, if you do believe in yourself and trust in yourself and have faith in your true self, you will definitely get out of that behavior, because you are not really the body, you are not the actions, you are not, I repeat, you are not the illusion and the false self. So let me light up incense. Let me light up incense and actually continue with this discussion. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So let's talk about the illusion of this world. There's basically many things that have proven to me that we are in actuality living in an illusion world, an illusion external world. The very wall that you see behind me is the wall that I've been staring and looking at for the past 4 years into occultism. There was a day whereby I was doing a candle staring meditation. I saw the wall moving as if it was a computer that had crashed, basically. It had moved like this, it was shaking. If you can pay attention and look steadily and concentrate at this illusion world or on this illusion world, you will see certain glitches. Sometimes you will see that in actuality, everything is actually moving and vibrating. And it's not moving and vibrating to a point whereby it resembles the movement of rotation around the sun. It's like it's trying to maintain a certain shape of the hologram. And when you look steadily, you can see that in actuality, it's not even solid, basically. So it's these things that remind us of the truth behind this entire illusion. When I did astral projection for my first encounter or first time, I saw coding of the matrix, like binary codes or trinary codes, just before I went out of my body. You understand? So those are the two things that I saw. And some other ones I've spoken of in my previous videos. There's so much more to look into to see that this entire existence is an illusion. You understand? So with that being said, I'd like to conclude this video by saying that beware of the external things. They will always try to control you, and you will always associate those external things or the things that are close to you or the people that are close to you with yourself. You'll associate it with your true self. The morals are not yourself. How you conduct yourself in public, it's not yourself. The titles that your mother and father gave to you, those are not the true self. The body, the beautiful looks, the things that you own, the ashram, the spirituality, it's not your true self. Asanest Fire is a Hindu, Asanest Fire is a yogi. Those are titles that are not in actuality my true self. There's also a self-forgetfulness that I see in the occult community, occult spiritual community. The people of the occult community, they've never felt any self-importance in life. They grew up as weird people, most of them. Some of them have psychological problems. And whenever they get this kind of knowledge, they begin to feel important and they begin to feel as though they've conquered all. So they call themselves by spiritual titles and they try to call themselves and feel a certain way. It's a very, very dangerous game because the false self will always try to latch on to anything. It will try to latch on your relationship. It will try to latch on your titles, your name, basically everything. So you must be careful. Today, you might have a certain thing, tomorrow you wouldn't have it, and it would be detrimental to you. The process of living daily puts us automatically in the state of forgetfulness. It's how we respond and think and maintain awareness of certain occurrences in our lives that we actually get to understand and remember and remind ourselves that this is not in actuality our true self. I am not a yogi. I'm not a Sinist Fire, unfortunately. I am not Zebo. I am not this clothing. I am not a Rasta man. I am not beautiful. Okay, maybe I am beautiful. I am not beautiful. I'm not the master occultist or whatever title that you might give me. I am simply soul controlling this body. This body is playing a role that is ordained by the soul, by me as soul. So I shouldn't forget myself in physical things, giving physical things control over my body and sending different signals to I as soul. Om Namah Shivaya, I give you this to ponder on. During meditation, ask yourself, are you this body? Are you the possessions that you have? Where were you even before you were born? Where will you go after you die? Picture yourself, your body, lying lifeless on the floor. Ask yourself questions like, why are we connected as human beings? And what makes us, not as human beings, as a soul, why are we connected? And what makes us to have a certain divine spark within us? You come across questions like this. Picture the soul as this. Understand? The soul as the millions or billions of stars in the galaxy. You remove one star, it's not a galaxy anymore. It will be technically referred to as a galaxy, but it's one star short. You understand? Like the ocean, remove one drop from the ocean, it's one drop short. But the many drops that are in the ocean make up the entire ocean, which is the higher divinity, the Godhead. So it is also the case with soul. When we are present as soul. There's many of us. That many of us makes a greater part of us, which is Godhead. You remove one soul, we are short with one soul in the Godhead. You understand? So that's how connected we are. So ask yourself those questions. Dare to meditate and detach from these things. Yes, it will save you from a lot of manipulation and other things that I won't mention, unfortunately. This is Arsenist Fire here on the way of Dharma. Thank you for tuning in. And I am aware of that audio thing. I'm trying to fix it. Om Namah Shivaya, Arsenist Fire. Please do subscribe and like. Make sure that you share. Make sure that you practice this meditation and all of the things that I've mentioned in the channel. Some of you say that you view my things, my content, but do you practice? Okay, Om Namah Shivaya, Arsenist Fire. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejas Vina Vadhitamastu Om Vishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sorry, it's a mistake over here. Om Shanti.